give a quick testimony.
I might as well go first since I'm the odd one out. Football camp was really fun. I get roughed up a little bit, and that's what it's all about, though. I'd have to say my favorite part about football camp was Dan Martin's message. It was just a little devotion on hell, and it started off with a deafening sound, a scream. And it was not just one, it was, you could tell it was millions of screams, and it made hell real.
Yes.
You can get saved from the fear of hell. If there's a hell, there's a heaven. And to me, that was the most surreal message of hell I've ever heard. I don't know if you were in that. You were. But that was the one that stood out to me the most. All the preaching was amazing. The huddle times that you have with the coach, your specific coach, it's a really special time. It's private, and they don't talk about it to the parents, but you get real with preachers. And my preacher was Brother Burton Gates. He's a pastor in Philly, and you can tell he's a preacher by the way he talks. He's kind of a hoodlum. But yeah, he loves his boys. He had some guys on my team. One of them, Sincere. I played with him in the backfield. He apparently lost his dad when he was 4, but Brother Burton Gates, he is a second father to him. And it's just a big family, and to know that someone is holding down the fort in that area as well. And he's with he's a white Irish guy in there with the blacks and Puerto Ricans and Mexicans and all that. But it just got really real.
Praise God.
And it was a blessing to be there. I had a whole lot of fun. Thank you, my mom and dad, for letting me go. And church family, thank you for supporting us.
Amen. Hallelujah.
I had the opportunity once again to go to football camp. This was my 9th year, and this year was probably my favorite year. God really moved, but I really noticed it much more this year. Every year, it's always been about the football and about the hanging out with friends. This year, God gave me just a glimpse of Him at football camp this year. I was on the winning Super Bowl team, and on the way home, so it just hit me, the big stack of cards from kids just like ours that all made decisions and said they were going to follow Christ, and everything seemed so small. All the small talk with the guys and those plays you've made in games, it all seems so small when you realize that there are thousands of cards through 25 years of football camp with kids that have made life-changing decisions. Probably one of my favorite messages was definitely Brother Martin's message about the reality of hell. Really convicted me of my soul and how I'm not as faithful as I should be in that area. And then one of the last messages, Brother Terry Angel preached at Matthew chapter 20,
Yes.
and he preached about how the master went out into the marketplace and was gathering laborers to go into the vineyard. He went out in the early morning in the 3rd, 6th, 9th, and 11th hour, and he preached on that 11th hour and how even in the end of time and time's getting short and God's still calling. And we saw that all week with the stack of decision cards. God's still calling and He's still wanting to use people. And it made me realize that I need to be ready when the time comes to go out and give my all for Christ. Because we're in the 11th hour, time's drawing short. We don't need to be playing around, be fooling around with the pleasure of this world. We need to be ready to serve Christ. And I want to thank my dad for driving us to camp. I know he drove back and preached here and drove all the way home, or all the way back to Illinois.
Yes.
Thankful he did that for me. Thankful. I want to thank my coaches. They're not here, obviously, but the impact they made in my life, only time will tell. And we'll see that when we get to heaven. So thank you, church family, for holding the ropes, praying. Thankful God gave us safety. And I just pray you'd continue to pray for these guys as we continue on. School starts to keep our commitments and go on to serve Christ.
Praise God.
Amen.
Amen.
Hi, I'm Nathan Smith. So at football camp, just like Zach said, the scariest thing that we heard at football camp was what we heard about hell. There was actually some audio of screaming, and then in the midst of it, you heard like a deep voice laughing and yelling. Some of us could tell that was the devil. And then later he was talking about like how something came out from the hole, and they had to like give them the government there had to give them short-term memory drug to make them forget about that moment, because that's how terrifying it was. Brother Coral had preached on about being too late to be saved. See, he was talking about how he got saved. He was a bar fighter. He just stopped fights from bars. He worked out one, and then he went to church one day, and he got convicted. But he was going back to the bar, but he had a feeling that if he went back, he would die. So he went home and prayed to get saved. But he tried giving it to his friend. He said he would go. It was only 36 hours before he would get saved. He said he would go to church and get saved that morning. He died in a car wreck. Didn't get saved. Watched his mom have her last breath saved. But watch his friend has his last breath unsaved. See, the whole point is it can be too late to get saved. You have a chance, take it, or else you'll be spending an eternity in hell.
Yes.
Which is what we all believe, which is all what we deserve. But by the grace of God, we can go to heaven.
Praise God. Amen.
Amen.
I'm going to have to agree with the three guys that previously came up and testified, but Thursday morning was the most real message to me in my heart. How Brother Dan Martin came up and didn't say a word. He pointed to the sound man, and that 17-second clip came up with those people screaming. It scared my soul to death. He went on and shared a few more stories. There was this one story where this professional diver went down in a diving bell to the deepest point in Mariana Trench. He was down there and he heard screams of thousands and millions of people. He pressed the button to come up. When he came up, he was in shock. And it just shows you how real hell is, and how real the screams are of hell, how they relive every one of their fears that they have